I had this amazing experience with a wild horse sanctuary in the apex of my career, and when that part was over, I thought I needed to write a book about that because it was such an amazing experience. So I wrote a book and tried to get it published, and it wasn't good enough. So I rewrote it, and it still wasn't good enough.
So Alan brought his manuscript called The Horse Lover to me. It was about his experience starting the first government-sponsored wild horse sanctuary, and you just knew after reading it there was a story there. So I edited it and sent it out, and it was soundly rejected, but we both knew there was a story there, so we decided maybe it was best to write it together. Now, this was a very odd partnership.
I'm the cowboy and she's the city girl, and trying to meld those two skills together was quite a job, but actually it was a labor of love for both of us.
I had to learn the world of horses. I grew up riding an Orange Schwinn Varsity. I didn't know what a squeeze chute was. I had no idea how the horses ran around the corrals. So Alan had to tell his stories, and I really had to listen.
We just would go a step at a time, and each step the book got a little better. And so the fact that the book was growing right in front of our face was enough to keep us both going. And so we persevered, and finally one day Lynn said, "It's done." And I was shocked because we'd been working on it for so long.
And we sent it into a publisher who acquired it, and it came out, and we promoted it, and it's so far winning awards, which we're very happy about.
When I started working with Lynn, I would tell stories that the end would come too soon. I'd say, well, we were working out on the ranch and this horse went to bucking. And Lynn would stop me and she'd say, well, what time of day was it? Was it cold? Was it hot? What were the smells? What were the sights? And I learned to tell a story by setting a scene that the reader could relate to.
And one of my challenges writing a horse book was I didn't know anything about horses. So I had to ask Alan a lot of questions. Which way do horses run in the corral? What is a squeeze chute? How do they enter it? And not only did he tell me once, he would have to tell me 2 or 3 or 4 times so that I would really begin to understand it. And he even bought a book that was a flip chart of the parts of a horse, how the horses are in the barn, how horsemanship works, and that was a Bible for me.
I assumed that the reader knew a lot of these things, and since Lynn knew none of them, I had to go back to the basics and just start with basic things and teach her about horses and about grazing and what horses did and how they did it. And I had kind of assumed everybody knew that, and they don't.
When we wrote the book, the audience is naturally horse lovers, but the story behind it is about a man who did something extraordinary, who started something that had never been done, who took care of 1,500 wild horses and trained them, who experienced heartaches, joys, frustrations, and that's a story that appeals to everybody. So we had to figure out how to tell that in the book, and that was where some very good collaboration came about, because I think we achieved that.